Yes, let's begin. So we're going to do the continuation of the MCQ paper only. That Central Province second term paper which we started a couple of weeks back. It's the continuation of that paper. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 MCQs here. I'll just give you all the time now. I'll give you all 12 minutes to do this. Let me put the time of 12 minutes. Yeah. So I'll give you 12 minutes. Complete these few questions. These MCQs. Just don't know the answers of the MCQs, and we'll be discussing at 6:15 p.m. Once you're done answering all these 9 MCQs, you can raise your hands up in the participants list so that I know you're done. The flow chart is not clear. What do you call it? If you're in the phone, you can zoom it. If you're in the laptop, in the top itself, can you see a small message showing that Yusuf Riyadh is screen sharing or something? So if you can see that message, look at that message, what do you call? There might be a three dots. When you click on the three dots, there'll be option called zoom ratio. There you can zoom in. So in laptops, in the top picture, there will be three dots near my name, screen sharing or something. Click on the three dots. There'll be option called zoom ratio. There you can zoom in and check. Okay. To zoom in also. Let me just check. So I'll just tell you. It's basically mentioned here as What do you call input value? This is the flow chart actually. How can I take both together? Okay, let me do this. Take this fellow here. Like this. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I'll take this here. In which tute is available? There is no tute for paper class specifically. What happens is you have to maintain a separate writing book for paper class, a separate book. And what you can do is you can note down the paper and the question number and your answer number. And while I'm discussing, if you feel like to note down your notes, you can note it down there. So normally, I don't inform what is the question we're going to do. It's randomly I'll share. This is 2022 grade 11 second term test. So 2024. This year grade 11 second term test of Central Province. Yes. This is question number 29 out of syllabus. Yeah, the other email protocol. You all have only SMTP, which is sending email. DNIMAP is receiving emails. Ignore the question number 29. Ignore this question number 29. It's only 8 MCQs. Because you all have learned only SMTP, which is used to send emails. POP3 and IMAP is used to receive emails. It's not the end of syllabus. Again, the email protocols. Is the syllabus different? No, Central Province people who made this paper has knocked their head before making this paper. Majority of the questions are a bit advanced. Out of the syllabus means, as I know, not even what do you call? Not even previous syllabus. I don't think all syllabus also had about POP3 IMAP. Even you learn about POP3 IMAP, you don't even learn that in A levels. No, in A levels also we did not learn. We learn now. Even in degree, you don't learn that. That's like a practical knowledge. Like if you're playing in the pool with networking, you will know. I mean, not networking, you will learn, but in computer science, you don't learn that, as I know. Yeah, you don't learn. O-level papers are easy, man. Easier than provincial papers. Take Sabaragamu province. Sabaragamu, I did it already. We're done. That logic gate question I was talking about is Sabaragamu. The class that was extracted there. Sabaragamu I have done the hardest paper in Sabaragamu I have discussed already with you. That is within the syllabus hard paper. They are putting out of the syllabus unwanted data and making that. Sabaragamu is like me. Within the syllabus, make the paper hard. Central province unwantedly going out of the syllabus and making it hard. It's two different genres. Exactly. Okay, your time is up. Let's check your answers. You can stop your workings and now mark your answers. Question number 23. Which of the following statements are true about Pascal? Right. Pascal is a programming language you all learn in the grade 11 first lesson. Okay, so this is a programming language. It's a high level programming language, by the way. It's a programming language. So they are saying here, var is used to declare variables. Yes, that is correct. A variable has a name and a data type. Correct. Tell me, what is the purpose of variable? If you take a Pascal program, or if you take programs, why do we normally use variables? Correct. Variables are used to store values temporarily within the program. So for example, if you get questions like, let's say I'm going to take a Pascal program, let's take a normal program. Let's say you have something called x equals 5, y equals 2 into x, and display x or display y. Now, if you notice this program here, I have used an identifier called x, okay, or I have used here a variable called x, named x and I'm storing the value of 5. I have used the variable called y and I'm storing the value of 10. Okay. So you can see x is one variable I have here and y is another variable I have here, right? These two are two different identifiers in which I can store values, or two different variables in which I can store the value. Now you might be confused, what am I jabbering is identify. Identify is basically what we can use to identify that variable. Now I can identify this variable using the name called x. X is a name given for this variable. And y is a name given for the variable used to store this value, right? To identify the box, let's say you're going to use different boxes to store values. To identify every box is going to have like a name. That name will be normally called as a identifier. Okay, so let's say in one box we're going to store the number 5, another box 2 times x means 10. So then identifier for the first box is going to be x, identifier for the second box is going to be y. It's the name of the program, name of the variable. Variable is also like finding unknown terms. No, variable is used to store values. Simple. If you want, you can use the value. If you want, you can don't use the value. Normally, the value is being used, but you can. It doesn't have to always display the value. Or it doesn't always has to mingle with any calculations. It can be just there as well. It's just used to store the values. All variables should be declared at the beginning of the program. Is it compulsory? Will it store the values temporarily or permanently? Temporarily. Temporarily means within the program. Temporarily. Yes. If you take a Pascal program, and this is how a Pascal program would look like. First of all, you might write here the word called program, and you might first of all give a name for the program, right? So for example, let's say I'm going to write a program with what you call add two numbers or whatever. So I'm going to call this, let's say add num. This is the name of the program. Normally in front of the program name, we mention in brackets, is this program having only input function or only an output function or both? So let's say I'm going to mention an input comma output, which means both the functions are there in this program. And then semicolon mention there. Now, once you mention the name of the program, wait, this is not enough of space. Let me just write the writing book. Let's say I'm going to mention like this, what you call program. And I'm going to mention here the name of the program. So I'm going to call the name of this program as addnum. It should be one word, the program name. You can't have space. And let's say this program is going to have both input and output function. So I'm going to mention brackets. It has both input as well as output function. This is how you start a Pascal program. The beginning of the Pascal program is how you write. Next, what you do is you can start mentioning the declare your variables. So in a program, if you want to use any variables, okay. So let's say that first I'll show you the pseudocode for my program. Let's say I'm going to write a program like this. I'm going to convert this pseudocode into a Pascal program. X equals 5, y equals 7, z is equal to x plus 5, and displays it. Let's say this is my program which I'm going to create. Or let's say we're going to ask the user to input x and y. That will make more sense. Input x, input y, z equal to x plus y, displays it. Let's say this is a program which I'm going to build using Pascal. Okay. Now, if you look at this program properly, under how many names or under how many identifiers, how many unique identifiers am I storing values? Look at the pseudocode and tell me, under how many unique identifiers am I storing values? Correct. X is going to store one value. Y is going to store another value. X is going to store one value. Y is going to store another value. And you can see there's another variable called Z. This is going to store another value. So in total, how many variables am I having here? Correct. In total, I'm having 3 variables. Okay. Now, when you're going to declare a variable, one thing you should know is the name of the variable. Second, you should know is the data type the variable is going to store. So when you're talking about data type, tell me what are the data types we have in Pascal? What are the different data types we have in Pascal? Okay, we have string, we have char, correct. We have integer, okay. We have boolean, so we have real, and we have boolean. Normally, strings are used, the string data type is used to store any character. It can be a symbol, it can be a number, any word, any text. You can store any sort of character, okay? Any collection of characters, I'll call this. You can store any collection of characters as a string data type. So, for example, it's in a program, you want to store your name, you want to store your email address, okay? You can use string. So, any collection of characters. And char is used to store any single character, which means, let's say you want to store what do you call your grade. Your grade means your result grade, like A, did you get A pass or B pass or C? That's the grade you want to store. So you can store using the data type called char, any single character. What are integers used to? A very common data type. What are integers used for? Not just numbers. Be specific. What type of numbers? Exactly. Integer can store whole numbers, not positive. Positive, negative, both you can. It should be a whole number. It can be positive, it can be negative. It should be a whole number. If integers are used for whole number, then real is used for correct. Real is used for decimal number. Decimal number. In Boolean, what are the two values we get? In Boolean, you get either true or else false. These are the two values. Not 1 and 0, it's true or false. Okay, these are only two values we normally have in Boolean. It depends on the programming language, whether it's capital or simple, it depends. In Pascal, as I can remember, it should be capital. I am not 100% sure, I'll double check that. But the Boolean values will vary from language to language, whether it will accept all simple, all capital, or first letter capital. It varies from program language. Anyways, now let's say you want to store what you call the in this program. Let's say we are going to deal with only whole numbers, okay, which means let's say for x and y we are going to deal with whole numbers. So addition of whole numbers anyways is going to give you a whole number, no? So in that case, tell me what should be the data type of x, y, and z. In Pascal, it's not case sensitive, it is case sensitive. It is the data type should is that's why I wrote all the data type in simple letters. It is case sensitive. String can be a collection of different characters. I want to use my usual dialogue which I use in class. Can anyone guess what my dialogue would be? Yes. Not recording. Not recording. No, 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 no. You all don't know about me. See, only very few of you know about me. What do you mean by the word called any? Ask your English teacher to define what do you mean by any. English class. When you say any character, it can be any character. When any, you know what is the word any, right? So it can be anything. It doesn't have to be. It can be a number, symbol, anything. Okay, everything basically, exactly. Okay, let's leave that aside. Come back to the main question. So yes, what is a suitable way, data type to store these numbers if I'm going to deal only with whole numbers here for x, y, and z? Correct. When I'm going to deal with whole number, That's fine, Tuan. Yes, it's called the integer data type is going to be used. So what do you call to declare a variable? First of all, you write the word called var. Okay. And then you mention the name of the variable. So let's say here I have a variable called x. If you have only one variable, you can directly declare it. But let's say multiple variables, then x, comma y, comma z. And to show that all three of them are in the data type of what you call integer, I'm going to mention here x, y, z all are integer like this. Tell me, did you all understand now how to declare a variable in Pascal? Yes or no? What is var? It is a keyword we use to declare a variable. It means variable basically. Okay, so that's how we declare a variable. When you're declaring a variable, you can mention a single what you called the specific variables data type, or you can mention a collection of variable together like this. So first of all, you mention here the name of the variable. We are not talking about what is the name, how big is the what do you call variable name. Again, we are talking about the data type of the value that is going to be stored in that variable, not the data type of the name of the variable. Okay, we're talking about the data type of the value that variable is going to store. So I told you x, y, and z, they're going to store numbers, whole numbers. So if x, y, and z is going to store whole numbers, then their data type is going to be integer. So we focus on the value that variable is going to use. Let's see after I click on. Okay, so these three are the names of the three variables. And here we have mentioned the, so I'm going to call this identifiers of the variable. Identifiers means the name basically of the variables. And this is the data type of the variables. Once you mention that, once you declare, this whole process is called declaring a variable. Once you're done declaring a variable, now you can start writing your program from begin. Okay. One of you all asked me an example for string and char. Your email address is an example for string. And let's say your result, like let's say your maths result is going to be like A or else B or else C. Only one of these, right? So that's going to be a char. Your house number, no, your house number can be two characters. But let's say your yeah, mainly if you take a, all results, except a subject result, it's going to be a char. Right. So you put begin, and now you want to input X. You want the user to input X. Now, even though in pseudocode we just directly mention he input X, when you're writing a program, first of all you have to ask the user to enter value. You have to display a message saying, "Hey user, enter value." So to display that message, we use a statement called write or else write ln. So I'm going to mention a write with an inverted commas. Again, only single inverted commas can be used. Right? Enter number. Right? And once what you call this enter number message is displayed, now the program will expect the user to enter a number, right? So once the user enters that number, I'm going to tell the user, I'm going to tell the program to store this number the user entered inside a variable called as X. So read, what it is going to do is it is going to read, it is going to go and check the number the user entered, and it will check the number the user entered, and it will store that number inside the variable called X. Okay, that's the purpose of this read variable. It's going to take the number, it's going to read the value the user entered, and the value the user entered, it's going to store inside the respective variable. I should have a earplug when I'm doing classes. Okay, so once you have that what you called Value stored. Now I want the user to enter the next value. So again, I'm going to mention here, enter another number. Sounds like crying. Imagine my head is blasting here. Okay, I can't stop this conversation. Exactly. All yours, my is. I'm not going to explain this situation of mine. Okay. I feel your feelings in your eyes. Thank you. Anyways, so I'm again displaying a message saying to enter another number. And once that other number is entered, I'm going to store that number inside another variable called y. So what's happening here is I'm asking the user to enter a number. Once the user enters a number, in this statement, I'm storing that number into X. Now again, I'm going to display a message or enter number. In this statement, the second number the user entered, I'm going to store inside a variable called y, right? So once I'm done storing with this, now I want to calculate the total. So now I'm going to mention Z is going to be equal to, keep in mind in Pascal, the assignment operator is actually the equal symbol. We call this as assignment operator. The name of this symbol is, even though you say it's what you call equal symbol, the name of that operator is called assignment operator. Okay. So in Pascal, if you take equal, the equal symbol, when you're going to basically assign a value to a variable, you don't directly mention only the equal symbol. You mention a colon and equal symbol both. So I'm going to mention Z is equal to X plus Y. Right? Now I want to display the value of Z. So directly if I mention Z, what you call write Z, it will get displayed the value of Z. But let's say along with the value of X plus Y, I want a message to be displayed as well. So I'm going to mention here, write the addition is why is it stuck? The addition is, you can see the word called the addition is, I have mentioned that inside inverted comma. I'm going to put a comma here and mention this variable called Z. Now what I'm doing here is I'm joining the value of that text with the value of the variable. When you want to join multiple values like this, okay, you can use like this a comma and join it in Pascal, right? So what I'm doing is I'm joining the value of this text called the addition is with this variable's value called Z. And now my program is completed. So this is basically an example Pascal program. The things you have to keep in your mind is write or write-ln is used to display a value. Read or read-ln is used to get a value and store it in the variable. Basically input a value and store, right? So this is a sample Pascal program. Is that clear of you? I'll run and show this program if you want. Pascal compiler. Lukman is asking, is this central or southern point? The answer for your question is go and watch the recording. In the beginning of this, I told you. I'm not going to repeat it. Or else take your eyes and look at the whole screen. Somewhere you can find the answer. There is no difference between read and read-ln. Write and write-ln has difference, but read and read-ln doesn't have a difference which you can notice. Programmatically, there is a difference, but you can't notice a difference. Okay, so I'm going to call this program as addnum. I'm saying this program is going to have input as well as output. I'm going to say this program, we're going to have a variable called X, Y, and Z, and all three of them are going to be integer variables. And first of all, I'm going to ask the user to, what do you call, enter a number. And after he enters the number, I'm going to store that number inside a variable called X. and enter another number, let's say. I'm going to store this in a variable called y. Then I'm going to say z is going to be equal to x plus y. And I'm going to display a message saying the addition is execute. Then I run the program. The right side is asking to enter a number. So let's say I enter 8 here. It's asking to enter another number. Let's say I enter 4 here. Now it's saying the addition is 12. So you can see here, it has joined the value of this text called the addition with the value of this variable. Okay. What do you call this process of joining multiple values together as? There's a special name for that. That's called concatenation. Joining values together, you can call it as concatenation. Clear? Yes. Asking what's the difference between read and read ln? So write and write ln. These are different between write and write ln. If I would write, what do you call hello? Let's say I would write hello thrice. Now write, it will display and the cursor is going to be in the same line when it's going to execute the next instruction. So all three will be displayed in the same line. Let me execute and show you. It should be single inverted commas. You can't use double inverted commas. Okay, you can say hello, 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 all three in the same line. But if I use write ln, write ln, after it's displayed, it goes for the next line. Okay, it displays and goes, the cursor goes for the next line before executing the next instruction. So write ln, next line, right, same line. Got it? How do you make a space between three hellos? Just put a space here. So there'll be a space. Simple. Yeah. So all variables, you can see it has to be declared at the beginning of, before the program starts. So it's the beginning only, it has to be declared. So therefore, that statement is also correct. So answer here is all A, B, and C. If you got this correct, mark it as correct. Anyone have any other questions here? Any questions? Drop in the chat. Yes, here you go. var means variable. Simple. var means variable, const means constant. Okay. Which of the following statement is incorrect about Pascal identifiers? Identifiers means I told you it's named the name of the variable. It can be name of the variable or name of the program as well. Now, for example, this is the identifier to identify the name of the program. Okay, name of the program is also an identifier. So name of the program or name of a variable, both can be considered as an identifier. Keep that in your mind. Reserved words cannot be used as an identifier. That is correct. Reserved words mean words like, for example, this word called program, word called var, word called begin, word called write, read. There are certain words that are reserved words in your textbook. It's there. You can't use them as identifier. Correct. They are not case sensitive. That is actually wrong. Pascal identifiers are case sensitive. Now, for example, here I mentioned here, read X, right? If I mention here as capital X, that's going to give me an error. The reason is because when declaring the variable, I have declared that we are going to use simple X. So keep in mind, identifiers are case sensitive. You got to make sure that the spellings are correct and the cases are also correct. So that statement is wrong. Should not start with the English letter. That is wrong. As per what you call Pascal, again, it will vary from programming language to programming language. As per Pascal, all identifiers has to start with an English letter, right? So yeah, that is a must. Underscore can be used to join words. Correct. Underscore is the only symbol that can be used. Apart from underscore, no other symbols can be used in a identifier. The only symbol that can be used is in identifier is the underscore symbol. So here the incorrect statement, there are two incorrect statements. Pascal program case sensitivity. Let me double check. As I can remember, Pascal is what you called case sensitive. Let me double check, but no, it is not case sensitive. My bad. I'm wrong. It is not case sensitive. It was my mistake. So this is actually correct. Again, it depends on programming language. Except Pascal, all of the programming language, it is case sensitive. Normally, variable names are case sensitive. It was my bad, my mistake. In Pascal, it is not case sensitive. Other programming languages, it is. So here the answer is going to be this. This is the incorrect statement. Others all are correct. How is it used to join? If you want, you can use. It is used to join means basically if you want to give a name of a variable, let's say you want to name a variable called my name. So if you want to mention my name, you can put my underscore name. Simple. That's what they mean there. Got it? Why, Lina? Why? Anyways, is that clear, all of you? Correct? Any other questions? Yeah, they're not cases. I by mistakenly said they're cases too. My bad. Okay, next. Which of the following is not a function of a database? Right. What is your answer? One, two, three, or four? Okay, interesting. Some of you all shows that you all have brains. Some of you all. Okay, let's go through the answers given here. Managing stored data. What do you mean by managing stored data is, for example, let's say, what do you call mainly what they're talking here is about retrieving data. When you say managing stored data, we're mainly talking about retrieving the data. We can get the data back or we can look at the data back. So that's basically retrieving data. Can you retrieve the data that's stored in the database? Correct. You can. It can be retrieving data. It can be deleting data as well. It can be what do you call entering data as well. All are fine. Then menu. So it can be retrieving data. It can be, let's say, editing data or modifying the given data. It can be about inserting data. It can be about deleting data. All of them in common we can call as managing your stored data. Actually, stored data means inserting one count. Okay, it's already not inserted. If you're saying inserting, so editing and deleting. When you say manipulating data, here we're mainly talking about modifying the existing data. Can you modify existing data in a database? Let's say database has a data stored. Can you go and modify those data? Obviously, yes, obviously you can. So that's also correct. Security for stored data. When we were learning about database, so this is specific for electronic database, right? When you were learning about electronic database, we learned that you can provide security for your database using because you can add one thing to it. What is the feature you can add for an electronic database that will provide a security for it? Exactly. If you take your electronic database, you can add passwords. So by adding password for a database, right, will that keep your data secured? Yes, that will keep your data secure. Last one, they have talked about something called analyzing code. Is database having any connection with your code, your normal basic code? No. I'll tell you one thing that's not there in your syllabus. You'll have learned this word called querying no, in a database. Querying means extracting data from a database. Okay. Basically taking the data from a database. Normally, if you want to query a data, you can go and just go and directly take as well. But there is a language called SQL language. Okay. Using SQL, it's a programming language. Okay. Using this language, you can go and query a data. It's possible to obtain data using this language. But that is only a specific query. It's not about your whole program code, right? So therefore, again, that's not there in the syllabus, the word SQL, but just giving you an idea that you can use SQL is a language used to query a data from a database, but that doesn't have any connection with analyzing your code. Analyzing means going through your code, understanding your code. That's not a part of a database. So the incorrect statement here is the last one. Is that clear of you? Okay, next. If the value is 50, 33, 18, 15, and 30, and minus 1 are used as inputs, what will be the final output value? Let's check. So I have a brain. Wow. Now only you realize that you have a brain. Eh? Good. Anyways, right. In these kind of questions, it's better if you can draw a dry run, right? So dry run is basically like a table that's going to tell you what are the variables this or what are the values this program is going to store, kind of to just get an idea of how the program is functioning, right? So to get an idea of how the program is functioning, I'm going to here draw a dry run. To draw the dry run, I'm going to take all the inputs as a column. Look at this given flowchart and tell me, or let's all the variables as a column. Look at the program and tell me what are the variables you can notice here. What are the names of variables we can notice in this program? Output is not a variable, it's a function. Correct? Value is a variable. Calc1 is a variable. Calc2 is a variable. Yeah, there's a variable called value used. There's a variable called calc1 used. And there is a variable called calc2. Apart from these three, are there any other variables mentioned here? No. So I'm going to draw one column called, what do you call the value? A div is not a variable, man. What is div actually here? What do you call this mod div, all those stuff says? Others answer, let's see how many of you know it. I'm not asking the meaning of div. I'm asking what is it actually here. Aftab correct. Lena correct. Nabiha half correct. Like, that's not the exact word, but yeah. Mariam correct. Mariam Shavir. It's an arithmetic operator. It's an operator like addition, subtraction, multiplication. Div is actually an arithmetic operator. Just like what how plus has a meaning, minus has a meaning, multiplication has a meaning, division has a meaning, div has a meaning, and mod has a meaning. These are all operators. Keep that in your mind. Arithmetic operators. Anyways. So yeah, the only three variables we have is value, calc1, and calc2. And next we are going to draw the conditions. The first condition we have is value equal to minus 1. Is value equal to minus 1. This is the first condition. Second condition we have is calc divided by value equal to, is calc equal to value divided by 2. Calc 1, right? Is calc 1 equal to value divided by 2? And then the second next condition we have is calc 2 equal to value divided by 3. Is calc 2 equal to value divided by 3. I thought div is for dividing. Yes, div is for dividing, but it has different part of dividing, not just, it's called to get the coefficient when dividing. So the quotient when dividing. Anyways, so what I have done here is I have written in the one column each for each variables we have and one column each for each condition we have. And then finally, I'm going to have one common column to record all the outputs. Okay, I'm not going to have different columns for different output statements. All the outputs I'm going to store in the same common column. Now let's start filling this table by going through the program. When the program is functioning, right? When the program is functioning, the first thing you can see is input value. As per the question given, what is the first value we are going to input? Look at this and tell me what is the first value we are going to input. Correct. 50 is the first value we are going to input. So I'm going to mention here the first input value. The value variable is going to store the value of 50. Okay, I mentioned here under value variable, value column 50. Next we have mentioned is value equal to minus 1. Tell me currently is the value equal to minus 1? Is this equal to minus 1 basically? No. So because it's no, we're going to go towards this direction. Here we have mentioned calc1 is basically value div 2. Value div 2. Okay. So value div 2 means what we are talking about is divide 50 by 2 and take the quotient. So 2 times 22 is 4. 1 remains. Bring the 0 down. 2 times 5 is 10. 0 remains. When you do the long division, and you are keeping whole numbers, the value you get to the top, the quotient is that this is the value you get when you do the div operator, and this is the value you get when you use the mod operator. So basically, 50 div 2 is equal to 25, and 50 mod 2 is equal to 0. Is this clear, all of you? Div means dividing and taking the quotient. Mod means dividing and taking the remainder. Again, we are talking with whole number divisions only. Clear? So if you take 50 div 2, they are talking about calc 1 is equal to value div 2, no? 50 div 2. So what is the answer for 50 div 2? Yes, you can see a 50 div 2 is giving you the answer of 25. So I'm going to mention that calc 1 is now having the value of 25. Calc 1 is having the value of 25 because they have mentioned there here calc 1 is equal to value divided by 2. Now here they are mentioning calc 2 is equal to value divided by 3. I mean value div 3. So 50 divided by 3. 3 times 1 is 3, 2 remains, bring the 0 down. 3 times 6 is 18, 2 remains. Okay. Again, I told you we are going to do the whole number divisions only. We are not going for decimal numbers. So here you can see the quotient is actually, we call this normally as a quotient. And we call this normally as a remainder. Div gives you the quotient and mod gives you the remainder. We are doing whole number division. So you can see here 50 div 3 is actually equal to how much? Correct. 50 div 3 is equal to 16. So I'm going to mention here calc 2 is actually 16. That's what's done. Next they have mentioned is calc 1 equal to value divided by 2. When you divide this value by 2, when you divide 50, now current, how do you see what is the value of value? You go for this value column and see what's the number it's holding. You can see value is holding 50 now. So what is value equal to? Initially this gave me false. I forgot to write this. Now when you say value divided by 2, we are talking about 50 divided by 2, which is 25, right? And calc 1 is equal to 25. So when I say is 25 equal to 25, is that true or false? Now calc 1 is equal to 25. You can see calc 1 is actually 25. And value divided by 2 means 50 divided by 2, it is actually 25. So is 25 equal to 25? Yes, that is going to give you true. So because it's going to give you true, you're going to go towards the direction of yes. Do we have the direction of yes mentioned here? Yes, yes is going down. If you go to yes, they are mentioning is calc 2 equals to value divided by 3. When you divide value by 3, basically if you divide 50 by 3, what is the exact answer you're going to get? 3 times 1 is 3, 2 remains, bring the 2 down, 3 times 6 is 18, 2 remains, 3 times 6 is 18, 2 remains. Okay, so the 50 divided by 3 is going to give you something like 16.666666, that kind of number. It's a recurring number. So, so here the statement is saying is calc 2 equal to value divided by 3. So currently you can see calc 2 is holding the value of 16 and value divided by 3 you can see 16.666666 something. Tell me, are these two values equal? So when I say 16 is equal to 16.666, are they two equal? No, that's going to be false. So because that's going to be false, I'm going to go towards the direction of no. No is going towards this direction. So as per no, I have to go up. I have to come again here to input value. Now input value, what is the second value that we are going to enter as per the question given? Correct. You can see we are going to enter the value of 33. So I'm going to here tell now the value of input is going to be 33. Under the input value column, I go and mention the 33. The next question is doing, next instruction is checking, is value equal to minus 1? Is value equal to minus 1? Basically, is 33 equal to minus 1? No. So I'm going to mention here false. So because that instruction gave me false, I'm going to go towards the no direction. Here it's mentioned calc 1 is equal to value div 2. So value is basically 33, 33 div 2. 2 times 1 is 2, 1 remains, when 13 down. 2 times 6 is 12, 1 remains. So calc 1 is equal to 16. Calc 2 is equal to value divided by 3. That's basically 33 divided by 3. 3 times 1 is 3, 0 remains. With 3 down, 3 times 1 is 3, 0 remains. So it's 11. Is calc 1 equal to value divided by 2? Is calc 1 basically 16 equal to value divided by 2? 33 divided by 2 is basically 16.5. Are these two equal? Is 16 equals to 2? No, it's going to give you false. So if that condition is giving you false, you're going to go towards this direction. Okay, you're going to go towards this direction and you're going to go for the next number now. See, this direction is pointing towards input value. When you say input value, what is the next number we're going to ask the user to enter? Correct. We're asking the user to enter the number 18. So I'm going to mention here 18. I'm going to mention here 18. After 18, you can see the first instance is value equal to minus 1. Is value equal to minus 1? Basically, is 18 equal to minus 1? No. So I'm going to mention here false. The next instruction is calc 1 is equal to value div 2. So 18 div 2 is basically 9. I did the mind calculation because I already showed you two examples of how to calculate that. Calc 2 is equal to value divided by 3. So 18 divided by 3 is 6. Okay. Yes, yes. So these also give me yes. Oh, no, wait. Is calc 1 equal to. Now, first instruction is. Now, I'm coming for this instruction now. Is calc 1 equal to value divided by 2? Now, calc 1 is basically 9. Value divided by 2. 18 divided by 2 is actually 9. So when I say is 9 equal 9, true or false? That's going to give me true. So because that's giving me true, I'm going to go toward this yes direction. Here I'm going to check is calc 2 equals to value divided by 3. You can see calc 2 is actually 6 and value divided by 3, 18 divided by 3 is 6. When I check is 6 equal to 6, is that going to give me true or false? Correct. That's going to give me true. So because that's giving me true, I'm going to go toward this yes direction, output value. So when I say output value, look at the program and tell me what is the number the value variable is storing. Always check the value columns, latest value. Because I'm showing I'm in the yours is the latest value under each column. So if you take the value variable, what is it storing? How much is it storing? Correct. It's storing the number 18. So I'm going to display here, output the value 18. I have output the value here 18. Right. After I output the value 18, you can see this arrowhead is again going back up to input value. When you say input value, again, what is the next value we are going to enter? Correct. The next value you can see we are going to enter 15. So from here onwards, I'm going to do it quickly because I showed you what I want to show you mainly. So we are inputting 15 here. The next instance is value equal to -1. If it is 15 equal to -1, that's going to give you false. So you're going to go down. Calc 1 is equal to value divided by 2. If you divide 15 by 2, 2 times 7 is 14, 1 remains, so 7. Calc 2 is equal to value divided by 3. That's basically 5. The next instruction we have is calc 1 equal to value divided by 2. Calc 1 is 7. Value divided by 2 is 7.5. If 7 equal to 7.5, that's basically false. Because it's false, I'm going to follow these instructions, go up, input value. The next value you're going to enter is 30. So I enter 30 here. Is value equal to -1? Is 30 equal to -1? That's going to give you false. And calc 1 is equal to value divided by 2. Value div 2 means 2 times 15 is 30. Calc 2 is equal to value divided by 3. So 30 divided by 3 is 10. Is calc 1 equal to value divided by 2? Calc 1 is basically 15. Value divided by 2 is 15. That's going to give you true. Is calc 2 equal to value divided by 3? Calc 2 is basically 10. And value divided by 3 is 10. That's also going to give true. So because both of them are going to give true, you're going to output value. So what do you, at the moment, what is the value of value? Currently, what is the number value variable is holding? This takes more time. Who said it's take more time? I'm doing it step by step, explaining you all. If I did this alone, I would have done this a long time back. I mean, I'm explaining you all and I'm asking you all question by question. But you can do it very quickly. You take maximum 1 minute. Exactly. You can see currently the value variable is holding 30. So because we have mentioned display value, I'm displaying the number 30. After I display number 30, I again go to input value. Input value is asking the next number. The next number you can see is -1. So I'm going to enter here -1. After enter -1, the question I ask is value equal to -1. Now tell me, is this condition going to give me true or false? And I'm going to check. Correct. When I'm going to check that, you can see the condition is going to give me true. So when it's going to give me true, I'm going to go to the yes direction and you can see the program has ended. So when the program has ended, this was how it had functioned. Okay, it's ugly. When the program ended, this is how your dry run looked like. Now, the question is not asking what is the output of the program. The question is asking you what is the final output value. Some of you are there Arappariji cases. You already not read this word called final. You just saw the word called output. Once you got 18, itself you stop continuing the program. That is why I saying read the question properly. So when you say final output, is it 18 or is it 30? What was the latest output? Final means latest. What was the latest output? There are two outputs, but they're asking the latest output. Exactly. The latest output was 30. So the answer is going to be 30. Tell me, did you all understand how I got the answer as 30 here? Be honest, this is too much for one MCQ. No, it's very easy. This whole program is too much. I mean, this whole paper is too much. That's the, if I'm going to be honest with you, this whole paper is comparatively, it's high standard paper. It's not a low standard paper. So compared to the other question, it's the equal standard. Okay. Anyone have any questions? There's always a programming question asking you the output. Draw the dry run. If you draw a dry run, there is a very small percentage you can go wrong. Okay, there's a high percentage you can get it correct. So go with the dry run. It will make your work very smooth. Next, if the values 45, 12, 96, and -1 are used as in yeah. I'm not going to show you all the method. I'm going to do this in the mind. It's going to take time if I'm going to do it with you all. So I'm going to do it in the mind itself. And I tell you all the same process basically. You just replace the numbers. Okay. So you replace numbers basically 45, 12, 96. 45, 12, 96. 45 means 22. And this is basically 15. And is 22 equal to this one? No, so program ends. You go for the next input. 10, 12 divided by 2 is 6, 12 divided by 3 is 4. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 6 years is 6 divided by 4 years. So answer is 6, comma 4. Yes. Then you go for again 90. 90 divided by 2 is 45. 90 divided by 3 is 30. So if you take first output was 6, comma 4. The first few values are 6 and 4. The next few values are going to be 45 divided by is 45 equal to that? Yes. Is 30 equal to this? Yes. So 45 comma 30 is going to be this next. Then again you come there and check for 6. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Yes. So 3 comma 2. Again you come and check 1. Correct. Final output is 3 comma 2. How many of you got 3 comma 2 here? You can see within a minute I did this in the mind basically. But the same process basically. Again you draw the dry run or you can calculate in my head like that. The initial values of calc 1 and calc 2 was this, then this, then this, and finally it was this. I did it after you did the question 26. It was easy. Yeah, exactly. If you know how to draw the dry run, it's very easy. How to calculate by mind. That is not related to IT. That's related to philosophy, so I can't tell it. It's just I don't know. If you're good at maths, that will automatically come. But yeah, I don't know. But again, same process you have to follow. You draw the dry run, and they ask the final values of calc 1 and calc 2, which means they ask the final values of these. Like imagine in this question means these two. So you draw the dry run and they're asking these two values. Again, maths is a very easy subject, man. Okay. Next question. What is a? Hey, I love this question. They're making you use your brains. Wow. If you got this question, that means your brain is working a bit. Huh? I appreciate this person who made the paper a bit. I I de-appreciate in certain places, but some places he's actually very good. What is the purpose of this program? The purpose of this program: output numbers divisible by 2. Wrong. Output numbers divisible by 3. Wrong. Output numbers divisible by 2 and 3. Correct. Output numbers divisible by 2 or 3. Wrong. Answer is the third one. How much I've got? Wait, I'm gonna put all of your hands down. If you got this correct, raise your hands up. Let's see how many people have brains. Even trigonometry is easy for you. What is hard in trigonometry, man? Sin, cos, tan, it's right. So Kato. What's hard in that? Yesterday you were telling the papers, Baba, but now you're telling this paper. That is different paper. This is different paper, man. This is provincial paper, man. I was like, I like the questions they've included. Normally, all the provincial papers they include easy question. Sabaragamu and Central Province is put that hard questions. Don't know much on Pascal, but both these questions correct. Actually, if you got this question correctly, it shows that you're intelligent. Not intelligent IT. I'm saying your common sense is good. If you got the question number 28 correct, that means your common sense is working properly, actually. Seriously. You can think. Because if you notice these numbers, what's happening here is, here we're checking, what do you call is the number exactly divisible by 2. Here we're checking is the number actually exactly divisible by 3. Right? Because if it's exactly divisible by 2, then there won't be a remainder. That's why they use a modern div basically. Yeah. If you had gone through the program, you understood that. You drew the dry run. That's what's happening here. Anyways, anyone have any questions there regarding the programming? I mean, regarding this flowchart? You want to clarify? Because we're done with the flowchart. Is it a provincial paper? For the third or fourth time, you ask the same question, man. Read here in the top itself, there's grade 11, second term, Central Province 2024. One thing. Eka Penathang, in the beginning of the class, I told as well. Yes, it is a provincial paper. Suda paper. It was done a couple of weeks back or months back. Last month paper. I'm not sure I did this paper actually. Okay. Next question. Wow. Interesting paper, mate. I should meet the person who made this paper. Looks like a person like me, but a bit muleaul, but almost like me. Anyways, they're asking what will the value of 18 divided by 6 into 5 mod 3. So as per BODMAS, you have to do the brackets first. 5 mod 3 means divide 5 by 3 and find the remainder. So 3 times 1 is 3, 2 remains. So 5 mod 3 is going to give you 2. Again, I told you, div is going to give the quotient, mod is going to give the remainder. So here 5 mod 3 is going to give you 2. And on 18 divided by 6 into 2, when you have division multiplication to the division first, so 18 divided by 6 can is 6, 12, 18, 3. And then 3 times 2. So 3 times 2 is going to give you 6. So answer here is 6. If you got that correct, put 1 mark there. Anyone having any questions here? So here what I did is I followed the BODMAS order. Brackets, actually BEDMAS. Then exponential, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. If you have any questions, ask. Quotient and div are same. Div is operator. Quotient is that value which you're getting. What's exponential? Powers to the power. Like 3 to the power 2 means you write it like this, 3 to the power 2. So this symbol is called the exponential symbol. Got it? What is BEDMAS? Brackets, exponential, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. It's called the order of operation. So you're performing calculations, the order you have to follow. Maths you would have learned this, right? What is PEMDA? Same thing. In some brackets you call this parenthesis. What is the remainder? What is again div and mod both are operators. Div is used to get the quotient and mod is used to get the remainder. Simple. Next, which of the following statements are true about vector graphics? Okay, if you take vector images or graphics, basically if you take digital graphics, is modern div should be solved before brackets. Modern div is equal to div is in the same position of division. The division and div both comes in this stage. Modern sorry division division div and mod, they all are in this third stage. I mean the div stage. Correct? All three equal powers. If you mix and do that, that's not right. If you do either one of them first, not a problem. Both of them have equal powers. Yeah. So if you take digital graphics, you can categorize these digital graphics based on how it is created, or based on how the image is stored, or if image is formed. Okay, based on how the image is formed, you can categorize them into something called as raster graphics and vector graphics. If you take raster graphics, here the image is formed by a collection of pixels. That's fine, Imad, you can refer the recording. The raster graphic is formed by a collection of pixels. And vector graphics is formed by a collection of lines. Okay, in raster graphic, it's just pixels. Pixels are like dots. If you take image, it's like dot 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 dot. A collection of these dots only forms a image, right? So sometimes you take your phones, like photos in a phone, just someday zoom and go. You might be able to see like box. Those are pixels basically, right? So normally we call a pixel as a dot in an image. That's called a pixel. So the collection of pixels only forms a raster graphics. And if you take vector graphic, this is formed by a collection of lines. Now, when I zoom in this PDF, it's loading, right? Load, quick. Okay, when I zoom in this PDF, can you all see the letters in the printed letter? This word called server, it's actually not printed. It's basically, it's like a photocopy version. That's why you can see. At a pretty blurry gatiya, can you see? I can't zoom more than this, but if I zoom more, you will be able to see it. Can you all see that blurry gatiya? That blurry gatiya, do you have in this red color line and pink color line, which you can see here? No, because this red color line and the pink color line, they're actually vector graphics. These two are vector. That's why how much I draw, it's still clear. You can see perfectly clear, right? But normally, if it's a raster graphic, when I zoom in, you can see the pixels. Okay, if it is a raster graphics, when I zoom in, you can see those pixels, the dot parts. Okay, and if you now when you if you want to create a vector graphics, you have to use a respective application to create. So, for example, you can create vector graphics using what do you call? You can create using Adobe Illustrator. Then you can create using let's say Inkscape. There are certain applications. Or normally, if you go and write on PDFs like this, also it will store as vector graphics. Now, let's say you use Adobe Illustrator and create an image. When you're exporting the image, when you're getting the image, if you go and save it as, let's say, PNG or as JPG, okay, or JPEG or GIF, then these are all a raster graphic file formats. So even though you use Adobe Illustrator to make it, if you're going to export it to these file formats, still the pixels will be visible. If you want to make sure the way you created the graphic itself, it's there, okay, perfectly how much you zoomed, then you generate it in the form of PDF, or there's a file format called AI, or there's a file format called EPS, or else we have um, yeah, these are three famous file formats. Okay, you all might not be familiar with these last two file formats, but PDF majority of them might be familiar, right? So normally, if you know, sometimes you might notice when people are sharing logos, they are sometimes they might ask in PDF versions because PDF is more clear because it's a vector graphic file format. Clear? So vector graphic is formed by a collection of lines. How much you zoom it, you can't see the pixel. It will be very clear. But raster graphic, when you start zooming it, you can see those pixels. You can see those dot 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 dot. Now, based on this, let's answer question. Vector graphics is suitable for high quality creations. Is that statement correct? Yes. So you can see when you want to create these high quality creations, vector graphic is most suitable. How much you zoom, there is no issues. Quality is lost when the size changes. Did the quality lose when I zoom in, zoom out, all those stuffs? No. Reduces computer speed in creation. Is that statement correct? Majority of these times, have you all seen when I'm using Edge, my you get a plain black screen, or else my browser gets like starts saying not responding. My browser gets stuck. Sometimes you have noticed, right? The reason that happens is because these are vector graphics, but I'm writing here is vector graphics basically. So that's why sometimes when writing this, it gets stuck. Okay, it gets stuck all the stuff because of that. Okay, so that's why these are vector graphic. But in PDF also, when you zoom in, the letters are but blurred, right? If you type the letters on the PDF, it is not blurred. You type the PDF and see. For example, I'll show you typed PDF. This is a PDF I have typed. When I zoom in my name here, wait, have I used image here or I typed here? I think this is image. I would have used my logo. Wait, it's loading. Oh no, this is typed. This is typed. See, when I zoomed in, is a stuck basically. See, because I told you vector graphics high it takes high quality creations. It's basically stuck when creating. My whole app is stuck now. Enjoy. Wait. My browser is not responding. Wait. Even because of the browser not stucking, my whole Zoom is not stucking. Wow. Is it normal to get stuck? No, when you zoom in, it gets stuck because zooming in, it's basically enlarging the graphic. So currently, my RAM is used by Zoom. Zoom drinks RAM. So when Zoom is drinking the RAM and Edge is also drinking the RAM is suffering. You'll be like, either you use me or let the browser use me. Both don't use me at the same time. Killer, the RAM is crying basically. And because both of them are fighting, we both are suffering here. Anyways, you can see this is a text. That's why I can copy the text. And when I zoomed in this text, because this was typed in the document. When I zoom this text, can you see that pixels? Or has the quality reduced? When I zoom this text, has the quality reduced? No, you can see the clarity is still the same. Okay, clarity is the same. But here you notice it's reduced. The reason is because these are not typed text. If you look at the question paper I have mentioned, I have scanned the paper. So in this PDF, this question paper is actually an image. The question paper is not typed in this PDF. That's why what you called here when I zoomed, the clarity is less. Is that clear? So if you type on the document, the clarity will be there. How much you reduce? How much you change the size? But without typing, if you put image of a text, it's an image basically. So if that image was vector, then okay. If the image was raster, then case part. So here they're asking about true statements. So here true statements are A and C only. So answer is going to be the second one, A and C only. If you got this correct, you can put one more there. But when you export the image in PDF format, the quality won't reduce. It depends on how you create the image. If you create on vector and export as vector, then shape. If you create and raster and export as what you call PDF, then obviously it depends. Okay, now tell me out of the 8 questions you already, I asked you to skip the 29th. No? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of 8 questions, how many are you got? How many are correct? Good. Those who got certain questions wrong, I will clear about the mistake you all made. Do you all have, if you all have any doubts, drop them in the chat as well. So yeah, today we are early, 3 minutes early. Wouldn't am I finishing class on time, on early. But anyways, fine. We are 3 minutes early. If you have any questions, you can stay and ask. But if you don't have any questions, you can leave. We're done for the day. Have any questions, drop in the chat. If you don't have any questions, you can leave. Why is it raining today? Yeah, I'm Sastrakaran asking me. Nowadays, you finish it early. I don't finish it earlier. I finish it on time because people are scolding me for not finishing on time. So because I don't want to get that scolding only, I'm doing it. That's why I like to drag the class only. Actually, not y'all. It's like this answer is to scold. Then your past batch used to scold me. 2023 all batch, they got a lot of this ones. But yeah, typed PDF means quality is not reduced, right? Correct. Spreadsheet charts. Can you give like a small summary on it on tomorrow or something? Tomorrow is what day? Tuesday. We're done with spreadsheet, right? But didn't you get a note? I mean, didn't you write the chart note? Are you doing this class in your favor? Obviously, I mean, teaching is one of the thing I like to. Like, have I ever shown a differentiation between my paper class and theory class? Have you ever seen one difference? Have I ignored even one of your questions? No? I wrote not the variation comparison part though. I might have the difference between charts. Where do I have it? I think I might have it in the phone. Let me just check. I have discussed database already last 2 weeks. Last week or the week before last, did database question only, man. Not at all. Same for both exactly. Why Yakif? Why? Is calc a variable? Are we storing a value in calc under this name called calc as per the program? We use arrowhead, but yeah, here what the meaning by arrowhead means we're going to store the value of value divided by 2. When you divide the value by 2, that value is going to be stored in calc. Here, the value divided by 3 is going to store in calc 2. So if you're going to store a value, is that a variable? So I'm going to store a value. If condition true or false, while loop ends. It's like you're asking me when it's hot sun, should I take a when it's hot sun? What do you call? Will there be flood? Or when it is what do you call in hot sun? Will there be flood? Or when it is thundering, will there be flood? You ask. No, when it's not thundering. So in hot sun, is there flood? Or when it's dark and hot, there will be sun. These are two different connections, man. If condition is one thing, while loop is another thing. Loop and selection, these are two different stuffs. You forgot the quote. No, my brain was generating the idea, but it stopped in half. It was like, no, it's not making sense. Like I got the drought and flood rain part. I know nothing now. Exactly. You mean the while loop condition? While loop condition, while true continue. Think of the World Trade Center. In a while loop the condition, think of the World Trade Center. While true, it will continue. So if it's true, it's going to continue. Then false, it's going to stop. Opposite. You have bath with ICT. Chart. There's nothing big, just to keep in your mind in terms of chart. The only thing I keep in your mind is what do you call out of the charts we have pie chart, bar chart, column chart, no time market, line chart, XY, scatter chart. These are all used to represent data or else show data. Suitable. These are all suitable to compare data or else show variation of data. And then these are normally as per your syllabus, these are used for when you have pair of data, which means two datas. And this is normally used when you have more than a pair. That's the summary basically. Got it? Any other questions? Okay, so as there's no other more questions, pie chart used for pairing, isn't it used for the variations in a collection of data? No. It is not suitable for showing variations. Thing which will be tell is A more, B more, or C more. If you look at this pie chart, by looking at this chart in the first glance, will you be able to tell who is the highest, who is the lowest? No. So that's why we say pie chart. You can, but it's not suitable. I'm here talking about what is suitable to do what, as per your syllabus. So in terms of suitability, pie chart is suitable to represent the data, but in comparing data, visually you can't compare data easily. But if it's a bar chart, if I draw the same thing in a bar chart, now if I ask you who is more, you can easily tell that C is more. So visually, you can easily compare data in a, let's say, column chart, but in a pie chart, it's not suitable. Got it? We're talking here about visually comparing data, not using numbers. Anyone having any other questions? No. What do you mean not there? Like what is not there? Whatever you have seen me writing, it should be there. It might take time to load the PDF because it's vector graphics. But for around how many pages? 26 pages, I think I written stuff. So 20, 25, 4 pages in that PDF I sent you. If I wrote it here, it should be there here. If I erase it, it won't be there. I guess I wrote it on that PDF then. I might have written STSC on the PDF then, on the question paper. Because this PDF looks clean. Horizontal copy. Oh, wait, I think STS I wrote in the top part. Yeah, I can't remember exactly where I wrote. Either I would have erased it, or I would have written on that PDF itself. Did I discuss on Tuesday or Sunday? Here, reckoning. Which class did I write? On the Tuesday class or Sunday class? Sunday or Monday? Sunday means I should write in this one. Will do past paper Sunday. I think then I must have forgotten to save the PDF. I don't know. Oh, I've written spreadsheet booklet. Not here. October 27 Sunday. You did, but next day again once you did. Sometime I would have erased in the read on it, or I don't know. I guess that's what I would have done. I would have either forgot to save it, or else I would have 29th October night class. I would have 36 minutes. I sent to SMS part 2 actually, so I can send it now. Okay, I'll send you the link. Okay, I will send you the chapter link of that part. Any other questions? Okay, so as there's no other questions, I'm going to the meeting. If there's anything, drop me WhatsApp message. I'll get back to you on that. Have a nice day.